let's talk about the issues that actually did matter quickly to people, you know, because we were told that it was about crime. We were told that it was about like the price of gas only. And then it turns out that, oh, you know, like the Inflation Reduction Act, as it was named, but actually like, you know, putting some investment into people's lives really does help. Showing that you're serious about climate change, even minimally, does help. Student debt relief does help. And all that, as to Nalini's point, was because of organizers nipping at the heels and fucking staying on this issue, to say nothing of abortion rights. So you got massive turnout from women. Voters in 5 states that had ballot measures about abortion, they all voted to defend and or expand abortion rights. Working people's issues, raising the minimum wage, I believe, in Nebraska. Let's see. DC ended the sub-minimum wage. Arizona cracked down on medical debt. Illinois protected workers' rights. South Dakota expanded Medicaid. Don't get me started on this Medicaid shit. We all know the ACA expanded Medicaid, and Republicans in a bunch of states have held out on it, even though it would help hundreds of thousands of people. Legalizing weed in Missouri and Maryland. So a lot of stuff. We see what people want, right? And I guess my question, Nalini, to you is, do you feel like is the window closing on Republicans to totally like fuck us out of our vote and democracy? Like, are we like, I feel like we're wedging our foot in the door and being like, not so fast, assholes. Like, we're gonna, as voters get younger and or get older, you know, they're kind of showing up, and we have this like moment to actually protect, you know, just the basics of democracy in this country.
I think that we do have a moment. I mean, I think that they overplayed. I mean, look, this was a 40-year play to overturn Roe versus Wade, right? It was decades in the making. And I think that they overshot themselves. I think that like they didn't right? Like it caught like the decades moved, but they were still playing a strategy that was like, oh, okay, yeah, if it was the 1980s, I don't know if people would have been turning out in the same way, right? And so, but they just kept on it, and they kept on it, which is why they won, because they were just like, we got to get the Supreme Court, we got to get this.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. So I do think that like that really pushed the line, but I do think it's really hard. Like people, it's when you think about working people across the country, like paychecks have not raised, right? Like everything is expensive. You know, you have, I mean, in the country now, like, right, like 71% of people support labor unions, which is also crazy. Like that never happened in my lifetime. Like 71% of Americans support. That's huge, right? So I think it's like, it could go in either way, right? You have this like pro-worker, pro-democracy, pro-human rights track. And then you have this like, you know, this fascist track. And you know, the thing about fascism, they will allow, the far right will allow anybody to carry that message. So I just think that we can't just rest on our laurels about like, oh, Trump might not be good, but DeSantis, here he comes. And honestly, DeSantis scares me more because he's a zealot. That is like, it's been his bread and butter for a really long time. So I think that we like, it's a choice to be made. And I think that this election showed that.
For sure.
Who do we think is more beatable? Is it Trump or is it DeSantis?
Trump. I just think that he's just not. And I think DeSantis has like, I mean, Florida is a big state, and it is a huge state in the Electoral College, and they keep voting him in. So yeah,
I think they're both massive losers. Like I'll be straight up with you. I disagree that DeSantis is scarier. I think DeSantis is a fucking idiot, and I don't think he can do shit without. First of all, he can't do shit without Trump's endorsement, and he's never going to get it because Trump wants to go head to head with him. And we can talk about that in a little bit.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, so DeSantis has to bend the knee to Trump, number one. Number two, he doesn't have the Trump je ne sais, you know, fucking Mussolini. He doesn't have what Trump has in terms of star power. And
that's, I mean, there were thousands of people here to see DeSantis in Pennsylvania when he came with Mastriano.
I guess I understand the idea of like a more dangerous, a more effective fascist. Like I understand that, but I'm also like, I don't think that Trumpism is transferable. I might disagree. I might disagree that like that it's just super transferable. I don't think they've got it 2024 in the bag. I think and you can see the way like Fox News is like, oh, maybe and with tonight, if Trump announces, like they're all gonna, we'll see how quickly they fall in line into what I believe will be a losing, either way, they'll be losing candidates. I don't know. Kurt?
It's interesting to see that Rupert Murdoch thinks DeSantis has a better chance.
Right.
Because he right at like just all the, I don't know if you guys saw this, but like the Post and like all of his outlets just were immediately like, Trump is over. And it's just like, oh, he's going hard for DeSantis. That's a scary idea as well.
Totally. Because he can, because they can they can marionette anybody, you know?
Yeah.
I just want to shout out Todd Roy, who says DeSantis is like if the word awkward became human. I mean, yeah, he's not good. He does not like communicate well. And I'm not being very communicative, but you know what I'm saying? He just doesn't have it. Like I'm more scared of someone like a Carrie Lake. Like I'm more scared of someone who is just like a fucking, anyway, just like kind of like slimy, virulent asshole. I don't get that. But anyway, we'll see. We shall see. I just want to shout out the squad has grown in this last election, right? So by I think 7 reps, including Maxwell Frost of Florida. So while Florida Dems totally ate it, not Maxwell Frost. He's the first Gen Zer to be a sitting member of Congress. I was like, now AOC must feel old. I'm like, oh, AOC, you old girl. Summer Lee from Pennsylvania, who just bucked all that AIPAC money that was thrown to her, to her opposition candidate. Again, which is wonderful. I fucking love that. And she's excellent. Delia Ramirez from Illinois. And the list goes on and on. So I do want to talk about, this is the second highest youth midterm turnout in the past 30 years, youth being 18 to 29-year-olds. And AOC said in a recent interview, look, by 2024, millennials and Gen Z voters are going to outnumber the boomers. So like I said, we're putting our foot in the door and we're wedging it open. And yeah, if this is also the one election where my mom and or other lovely boomers, love my mom, she's helping me out a lot, but they always do the thing after elections, which is like, well, the youth didn't really turn out, did they? And you're like, there is none of that narrative. You cannot say that at all. Young people definitely turned out and prevented this from being that red wave.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do